Welcome back, everyone. In this video, we are going to talk about adding our products into our cart. So let's take a look at the final format and think about the current data that we have. So inside, we know that we need to show the image, the name, the price, and then this quantity. So really, a cart item looks kind of like an encapsulation of our product data, except there is an additional quantity parameter. So how do we transform our data from this over into this accurately as we add more items into the cart? Well, that's actually going to be the meat of the logic we need to figure out. That whenever we add some item into our cart, we have to check if it already exists as a cart item, and if it does, then we increase the quantity. But if it doesn't, then we create a new cart item. So that's going to be the logic that we need to tackle. And really, we should do that before we start styling out the cart item. So let's figure that out. First, what I want to do is I want to make a new folder for the cart item, so at least we have something to work with. So here inside, I want to make the cart item.styles.sass, and maybe we don't fill it out, but we just make the file. And I also want to mark a cart item.component.jsx. So inside, let's think about what we need. For this cart item, we most likely will, let's just first generate the base of the actual file. We want to import in our style sheet. We want to create the actual cart item component. And then we want to export as default the cart item. So now that we're inside the cart item, let's just return for now a div that will hold out the actual total of the HTML. And then let's put an h2, which will have just the name so that we at least know what item we're looking at. And this name is going to come from, let's just say, the cart item that we pass in here. And then we destructure off the name so far. So all I'm saying is that I know that what I'm going to pass in is going to be some kind of version of the product that we already store, those product JSON objects. But here we need also some way to keep track of quantity. So this is where I'm just going to say that I'm going to assume that what gets passed in will also include the quantity. And I'm going to make a span that will show the quantity like so. So here, all I need to do now is actually put this into the cart itself, the cart dropdown, which is where this will live. So first, let's import in our cart item. And then what we're going to do is we are going to say, okay, how are we going to get these items into our cart dropdown? Well, let's think about this a little bit first. What is it exactly that we need to add? We need to map over some kind of array. We know that. And for every item that we map through, we want to pass this to the cart item, like so. So here, this array that we're mapping through is going to be kind of similar. But the only thing is that the way that we get this array, it's not completely like the products. It's going to be some variation of the products, as we mentioned, but with the quantity on it. So to do that, let's think about leveraging our cart context. Our cart context already stores things related to our cart. So what we could store is the actual cart items that are inside of our cart as they're added. So let's think about what the data shape of cart items should be. We know that right now we already have products. So our products essentially are objects that have the shape where there's an ID, there's a name, there's a price, and there's an image URL. All of these are same characteristics that we want on a cart item. The only difference is that we also want a quantity. So what we're going to store inside of this cart items array is pretty much something that looks like the product, except we also have an additional quantity. So let's actually start fleshing this out. What we want to do is we want to also figure out whenever you add something to this cart items, what are we going to do to it? Well, we know that in order for us to control the quantity, we probably don't want them to set directly this cart items array the way that we've been doing so with a separate setter function. Instead, maybe we want to define our own method that we happen to expose, something like an add item to cart, where we explicitly control what it is that this add item to cart function is going to do. So first, let me initialize the cart items and then the set cart items use state hook. And by default, we're going to use an empty array. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to now try and define this add item to cart method. This add item to cart method is going to be a function that triggers whenever a user clicks on this add to cart. So that means that what we're going to receive from the product card is going to be the product to add. So that's the key thing to remember. We're going to receive a product. Based off this product, we need to decide, okay, do I need to make a new cart item if this cart is empty of any of this product that they're trying to add? Or do I find the existing cart item for this product and then just increase the quantity by 1? That's the logic that we need to add into this. So what we can say is that we know that what we're going to set this cart items value to is the newest up-to-date array. So here, I'm going to create some kind of helper function that's going to help me find inside of my existing array any cart items that exist that match the ID of this product. And then if I can find it, I'm going to increment the quantity. Otherwise, I'm going to make a new cart item. So here, let me write out at least some pseudocode. So I want to say const add cart item, like this. What we're going to receive is the cart items array, because this is what we're going to look through to try and find a matching product. And of course, I'm also going to pass through the product to add, because that's essentially what they're trying to add through. So here, I need to do two things. The first is find if cart items contains product to add. That's the first step. Then what we do is if found, increment quantity. And then finally, return new array with modified cart items / new cart item. So that's kind of what we need to figure out for this function, because what we're going to do is that this add cart item is going to be what we set our new cart to. So we're going to call set cart items, calling add cart item, passing through what we have for cart items here, as well as this product to add. So my challenge to you is actually to try and see if you can figure out how to code this. Remember, what we should get back is a new array of cart items, except this product to add has either been added as a new cart item or as an existing cart item with an increased quantity. So I know it's kind of challenging, but really think about it and really try and figure out if you can do this. And in the next video, we'll do it together.